Did you know your phone doesn't just break on its own? What I'm about to share in this video will change the way you see your electronic devices forever. We're going to expose how big tech brands design your devices to fail, how they engineer the motherboard and software, and what really happens inside your phone when it stops working. From kids to grandparents, anyone will understand this explanation because I'll be speaking clearly and directly. Today we'll see how a device that seems completely useless can come back to life. The star of this story is a Samsung A50, a phone many consider a victim of the industry's worst practices. If you thought your phone stopped working by chance, get ready, because what you're about to discover cannot be ignored. We connected this Samsung A50 to a professional diagnostic tool, and it barely draws any power. What you see on screen is minimal, just a faint sign of life. What happened here? In most cases, the problem lies in the motherboard, the brain of the device. To diagnose it, we connect the motherboard to a lab power supply. This tool allows us to measure electrical consumption and detect areas that are heating up abnormally. And here's where it gets interesting. In the lab, we don't need to guess because we have professional tools. But what you're about to see is something even an untrained eye can spot. Look at this. With the thermal camera. You don't need to be an engineer to see the issue. The memory chip is overheating. Let me explain it in simple terms. When memory loses connection with the motherboard, the tiny solder balls that should conduct electricity begin to fail. These balls act like miniature bridges between the memory and the motherboard. When they lose contact, the electrons are forced through smaller paths. This creates heat, more heat than should be there, and the problem escalates quickly. Within weeks, the phone shuts down permanently. Now the repair process begins. First, we remove the resin that covers the circuit area. This resin, supposedly designed to protect against humidity, thermal stress, and electromagnetic interference, acts like an oven that traps heat. Using a hot air station at 150 degrees Celsius, we remove this protective layer. It's ironic. What's meant to protect the circuit ends up cooking it. In some cases, especially if the device can't dissipate heat well, this resin builds up high temperatures, creating an environment where solder joints deteriorate more quickly. With the resin gone, it's time to lift the memory chip for closer inspection. This step requires precision because the CPU, the brain of the device, is nearby. We apply controlled heat to avoid damaging nearby components. One wrong move here could destroy the entire phone. With the memory removed, we can see some loose pads. These pads, which look like tiny contact points, don't serve an electrical function directly. They help stabilize the memory in place. However, some of them are visibly damaged, slightly corroded, a sign that heat has compromised their integrity. Next, we clean away the remaining resin and old solder. Here's something I want to highlight. Lead-free solder, which is used nowadays in my experience, has an expiration date. Unlike the leaded solder used in the 90s, today's solder is less durable and more prone to failure over time. If you want to learn more about this change, check out the video I linked above, which hit over 500,000 views in less than 3 weeks. There I explain how big corporations switch to lower quality materials to cut costs, sacrificing device longevity. With just 4 videos, I've helped open the eyes of over 800,000 people. Now it's your turn to wake up. Back to the resin, it's supposed to improve humidity protection and reduce interference. However, it behaves like a heat trap. Like a car closed under the sun at 40 degrees Celsius. This excess heat accelerates component degradation, causing premature failures. Now that the memory is clean, take a close look. Some pads have lost their shine and show oxidation. This is clear evidence of heat damage. The causes vary: minor impacts, software updates that stress the circuit, or simply the poor quality of modern solder. All of it designed to make your devices fail early. To repair this circuit, we use a stencil, a template specifically made to rebuild the solder balls. It may look simple, but it's not. This process requires experience and precision. Well, if you apply too much air pressure or too much heat, you can ruin the entire repair or even damage the phone further. Once the circuit is rebuilt, the device is as good as new. We use high-quality solder, strong and durable, the same kind used in electronics made in the 90s. Remember those made-in-Japan devices that lasted decades? Sadly, that era of quality is long gone. When we reassemble the phone and perform the final tests, we see a stable charge of 2.2 amps. A good sign. The device is working again. But the most important part isn't the repair itself, it's the reflection. Why do we accept that big brands design devices to fail? If every repair shop could save 80 out of 100 dead phones, we could make a real difference. The phone just needs its shielding and some final tests. I hope this video has clearly shown the full process, and most importantly, who's really responsible for this massive problem of electronic waste. I've read hundreds of comments lately, and I understand the argument that without planned obsolescence, many people would lose their jobs and money would stop circulating. But at what cost? This endless cycle of consumerism has a devastating price we can't keep ignoring. My proposal is simple. Stronger devices built with high-quality components, so you, the user, decide when to upgrade, not the companies. The phone is ready for final functionality tests. I hope this video made the full process clear and, above all, helped you see who is truly responsible for the massive wave of electronic waste. I wonder, is money really worth so much to these billion-dollar corporations that they're willing to sacrifice our planet? These practices generate massive pollution and affect everyone. The only way to fight this is to unite and build a strong, informed community. Share this message with those around you so they understand what's really happening. Because this doesn't just affect phones, it's in everything. Washing machines, TVs, microwaves, even cars. Forget about those million-kilometer vehicles. Today, with this deliberately fragile electronics, they squeeze more and more money from us non-stop. If we can't even share a message like this, completely free, we'll keep paying the price out of our own pockets. And we can't let that happen. Never forget a phrase that has been fading over time. The people save the people. And I'm here to remind the world of that. It's time to act together. Thank you. I'm Leonardo, this was today's video, and I'll see you in the next one with more truth and more reflection. Take care.